of how to sleep like a baby.
How to sleep like a baby, which you were telling me off air. You have a whole bunch of hints to help. Hey, this is a big problem. I have patients that they are so anxious every evening, worried about being able to get to sleep. And I hope you have something to help them out, because there's another group of people who just keep on going and don't sleep because they're too busy. They only get very few hours of sleep because of their constitutional habits. And then the ones that would like to get to sleep can't. So let's first ask you a more pertinent question. What's new in the newsletter? What information do you want to give us so that people that follow you can keep right up and stay in the mainstream of what?
Yes. Well, yes. In a way that won't put anyone to sleep here. Yeah. On my website, which is my name, SusanSmithJones.com. I just got back from another tour over in the UK and New York, and you should see people look at me when I check into hotels, because everyone thinks I've made up my name. But if you go there in the current June newsletter, you'll get lots of recipes, lots of extra tips, more than we have time to discuss today, on getting great sleep, sleeping like a baby, on weight loss, on your thyroid, on all the best superfoods to add to salads, smoothies, and juices. You'll love that. But I've been working on this for a few days. I just posted it this morning on my website in the navigation bar where it says blog. These are really articles. But the first one is all about sleep and everything we'll talk about today, but in much more detail.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking this over. You do have a couple banners up on top, blogs and bios, interviews, quite a few folks. This place, her website is action-packed. So if you want to just spend some time and learn a whole host of things we're going to be talking about today, but certainly things that we've talked about in the past, please go to her website, SusanSmithJones.com. And on the opening page alone,
blog, you see there second from the left.
Yeah.
Go and scroll down to the subheadings. Just click on blog. The very first one is all about sleep. And you're right that it's a problem. Chronic sleeping problems afflict as many, they say, studies, as 70 million Americans. And last year, I don't know if you were one of them, but doctors wrote a record 43 million prescriptions for sleeping pills. By the way, you don't need sleeping pills. I'll give you the best tips on getting the best sleep of your life. And, over the past 40 to 50 years, Americans have cut their snooze time by 2 hours a night. And we in America now get less sleep than people in any other industrialized country. So it really is an issue. Absolutely an issue. And, so why is this? Thanks to our electric lighting, why do we get less sleep than people did a century ago when you were a young kid, Dr. Dennis? We have a shift to an urban industrialized economy, not to mention all the late night television. And the result is a disruption in our body's good functioning and body metabolism. And with workloads and stress that people experience daily increasing for most of us, sleep issues loom larger than ever before for individuals and society, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Well, think about the fact that you say as an industrialized nation, we're the number one sleep loser or lack of sleep population in the world. That's us.
Yeah, that's right. That is.
How many hours of sleep are we getting?
And a majority of Americans at some point in their life have sleep issues. Some people sleep well and maybe once a week they have an issue, but many people have issues every night, whether it takes them too long to go to sleep. And I'll go through all the details of what to do. So get out pen and paper. And then if they get up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, then they have a hard time going back to sleep. And keep this in mind, nothing is more restorative for your body and good sleep and plenty of it night after night. I'll tell you in a moment how much we really require. But lack of sleep, Dr. Dennis, it affects everything from job performance to school to health to family harmony. And women in particular, especially mothers, are the most sleep deprived, they say, because moms lose about 9 hours of sleep a week. And it even impacts relationships. According to a very recent National Sleep Foundation poll, 25% of couples say, and you know, this sounds common sense, we hear, are too sleepy for any type of sex life. So this is an adult show here for that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And also 6 hours of sleep nightly. If that's all you get or less, it is the equivalency of driving drunk in terms of mental functions.
6 hours.
And it affects our lack of sleep, undermines our body's ability to deal with stress. And one way to tell if you're getting enough shut-eye is to see if you can wake up at a regular time without using an alarm. If you require that buzzer to get out of bed in the morning, you're not getting enough sleep. You know, I have one client who sleeps through 2 alarms in the morning. Yeah, well, I'd say she did, but now I saw her twice in the last month, but now she's doing some of the things I'll recommend today, and so she doesn't need 2 alarms. But she did for years.
I've got 3 sons that need multiple alarms, and I can tell you, I have been their alarm clock for years. But that's another matter. Let's move on.
Well, let's talk about how much sleep you need. I bet there are some people listening that will say, you know, she's crazy, this Susan lady. I only need 4 to 5 hours a night. I'm fine. I think what happens is you get used to having such little sleep. You don't realize how much better you can be as a human being in your mood and in your energy, in your everything, your attitude about life if you got more sleep. The studies show that a majority of adults need 8.25 hours of sleep nightly to maximize their ability to function daily. Your sons, your adolescents need 9.25. Preschoolers need 12 hours. Toddlers need 13. And babies need, all the babies listening to us, need 14 to 18 hours of sleep every day.
Well, but that number for adults you said was 8.25. Throw that quarter in there, huh? 8.25.
That's what the research says.
Uh-huh.
Say, if you can get a solid 7 to 8. Now, because I know for many of us, getting 8.25 is difficult, but, you know, shoot for 7. If you can get 8, that's great. I'll talk in a little bit about the skinny on taking naps and when you don't want to take naps. I'll talk about how lack of sleep accelerates aging, what happens when you drive, you don't get enough sleep, and then all the tips to make your bedroom the perfect sanctuary for getting enough sleep, the foods you want to avoid before bedtime or to eat to help you. And I even have a couple supplements that will really help you sleep. You don't need to go get over-the-counter drugs or prescriptions from your doctor. Those things are not good for you, and they always have side effects.
What would...
And how about weight? This is a weighty issue. So many people listening, I know, want to lose a little bit or many pounds of weight. And one of the top things you need to do, you need to make getting good sleep every night non-negotiable if you want to lose weight. Because sleep affects your hormones that regulate satiety and hunger and how efficiently you burn calories. Put simply, too little sleep makes you hungry, especially for those foods that are high in calories and low in nutritional value. And these include the processed junk foods, especially those made with white sugar and white flour, fried foods like French fries and potato chips. Lack of sleep also primes your body to hold on to all of the calories you eat. And Dr. Dennis, there was this great study done about 4 years ago at Columbia University in New York. And the researchers found that people who slept 6 hours a night were 23% more likely to be obese than people who slept 7 to 9 hours. Those who slept 5 hours were 50% more likely, and those who slept 4 hours or less were 73% more likely to be obese. So if you're eager to drop a few pounds, you've got to make getting ample sleep each night a non-negotiable habit in your lifestyle. And I'll go so far to say this might sound silly, but getting enough sleep is one of the best gifts you can give your family. It will make for better relationships. I think if everyone would get more sleep and feel more rested, people would be more thoughtful towards one another, and the dynamic of the family would run more smoothly. We'd all be in better moods, adults and children, and what a wonderful gift that would be to give family, friends, business associates, is to get more sleep. Did you watch the news last night? I'm embarrassed to say this was in Los Angeles.
Oh.
Road rage incident. Two cars were close together, and these men both got out of their cars and were beating each other up on the highway.
I do remember seeing that clip last night. Yes. Yeah,
and one guy almost got hit. I would venture a guess that they both need more sleep.
Maybe they need plenty of drugs too. That was an unbelievable, and I got almost killed by hit by another car.
Oh, when that man went by. Oh, they showed it 1,000,000 times here. I know. And so what happens when you don't get enough sleep? Lots of health problems occur in the body, including toxic buildup, weight gain, like I just said. You age more quickly. I'll talk about in a moment why that happens. You get depressed. When you don't get enough sleep, you get depressed. When people come to see me and they have issues with weight or depression, the first thing I ask them is, how much sleep are you getting a night? Like I'm sure you do too. You get more irritable and impatient. You have a low sex drive, memory loss, lethargy, relationship problems, accidents. And by the way, at least 1,500 reported drowsy driving fatalities happen every year on the road. And as I mentioned, driving on 6 hours of sleep is like driving drunk. Cars are so cozy and comfortable these days, and cruise control doesn't help. And the instant you feel drowsy at the wheel of an automobile, when your eyelids get heavy, you got to get off the road.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me. That's scary.
I know. In fact, by the way, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates, I looked that up while I was preparing for this talk today, estimates that sleep deprivation plays a role in nearly 100,000 traffic accidents every year. Do you remember Chernobyl meltdown and Exxon Valdez spill? They are all because people fell asleep, or trains, the train accidents.
And the one in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really does affect our hormones and our stress levels when you don't get enough sleep. There was another really great study, terrific study done at University of Chicago, headed by Corinne Spiegel. I'm not sure I'd want to be in this study, but she asked participants to stay in bed just 4 hours a night for 6 nights, and then 12 hours a night for the next 7 nights. And when the participants were sleep deprived, blood sugar levels, cortisol, and the sympathetic nervous system activity rose, and its thyrotropin, which regulates the thyroid function, that went haywire, that fell. And the results of the study showed that chronic sleep deprivation forces the body into, that stress response, that fight or flight, pushing blood sugars and other hormone-related functions out of kilter. Now, keep in mind that when you're stressed out, and one of the roles of sleep, besides rebuilding, renewing, and repairing your body, is to help bring that cortisol level down after a day of lots of stress. And if the cortisol levels remain higher, that, as it does in many people, that leads to memory loss, an increase in fat storage, and a decrease in your muscle. And that's the perfect combination if you want to lower metabolism and gain weight easily. So most people don't want that. But if you want to increase your muscle on your body, which atrophies as you get older, and the extra muscle is necessary to create a fit, lean body well into your 60s, 70s, and 80s. You need that good 7 to 8 hours of sound sleep nightly to encourage muscle maintenance and growth and the release of a hormone that keeps you young and makes your muscles firm and strong, called human growth hormone. So put another way, sleeping can make you slimmer. But there's another side to this too, because lack of sleep really ages you quickly. In that same study with Corinne Spiegel, participants who slept only 4 hours a night for 1 week metabolized glucose 40% more slowly than usual, which is similar to the rate seen in elderly people. And glucose metabolism quickly returned to normal after getting a full night's sleep every night for a week. So in other words, don't think that if you get minimal sleep every night that you can make up for it in just one night. You can't do that.
Well, there's so many problems to this. I mean, the weight issue combined with this thing with accidents, hormones all over the place, now aging. The list keep going on. This gets rather scary.
Yeah. It does. And again, like I said right at the top of our discussion, I think so many people get used to not getting enough sleep and they think they're fine. But I would say make a commitment for 1 month, if you can, 21 days to 30 days, and get as much sleep as possible and see how much better you'll feel. And how do you know, again, besides not waking up at the same time every day, you're sleep deprived? If you feel sluggish or drowsy or fatigued, particularly after lunch and in the middle of the afternoon, or after a great discussion on the radio on sleep, you're probably sleep deprived. But this is something you're in charge of. You can do things about this. And one thing you can do, let's talk for a moment about napping. Now keep in mind, let me just give you a little sleepology 101. Every hour you lose at night, if you don't get the good 8 hours of sleep, adds to your sleep indebtedness. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm saying it, indebtedness. And you can't expect to catch up by sleeping in late 1 day a week on the weekend. The lost sleep accumulates progressively and contributes to long-term health problems. And I hope you always ask when you get your new patients, how much sleep did they get? And this isn't just adults, because children and teens, your boys, as I mentioned, need more sleep than adults. And sleep loss affects how they learn. It increases the chances of accidents or depression and violent or aggressive behavior. Now, so napping is one remedy. There are few enlightened businesses that are adopting the pioneering view that napping can promote productivity. I don't know if you know this, but some companies now provide these special nap rooms for employees. But if you have insomnia, naps actually aggravate your night's sleep, because by cutting off the edge of your sleepiness, an afternoon nap might make it even harder for you to get to sleep at night. And so, in other words, if you're sleepy because of insomnia, naps should probably be avoided. Now, and let's talk about napping or sleeping with meals. Sleeping right after a meal or a snack. naps are not recommended after meals. You know, I don't know if you know this, but it's natural to want to nap after eating because the distension of your stomach from a meal increases the deep sleep drive. That's why especially big meals like Thanksgiving and Christmas and whatever big holidays, you know how you just want to sleep afterwards. And the problem is that if you overeat, this is another reason you want to graze throughout the day and eat more frequently smaller meals rather than big meals. But if you overeat, the digestive process interferes with the quality of your sleep, and conversely, sleep interferes with the digestive process. It's better to allow some digestion to occur before sleeping, as both digestion and sleep tend to work better when performed separately.
Well, you know, talking about these naps, I just recall the period in my life. I lived in Mexico for, 6 years. And they have this thing called a siesta down there, you know? And they have the biggest meal of the day in the middle of the day. That's different from us. Yeah. And then they shut everything down between the hours of 1 and 3. Yeah. And for just a short period of time, you know, we had a larger meal at the beginning of the day, and then we took this thing called a nap. Within 1 week, it was so infectious, it took me a month. It took me a month to change that whole thing around because I lost most of the day. Yeah. That is a dangerous. What can you tell me about these naps in the middle of the day that we don't really get to take in this country, but other countries do?
I know, exactly. Now, does sleep during the day help you sleep better at night? You bet it does. You just don't want to exercise right before bedtime because that kind of revs up your metabolism. But exercise during the day, in the morning, midday, will always help you sleep better at night. So keep that in mind, especially in the morning, but at least not 4 hours before bedtime. And before I get into my really good tips on how to get the best sleep, let me mention I do not encourage anybody to take over-the-counter sleep pills or get a prescription from your doctor. There's some good things on the market. There's something that I actually take, especially when I travel, because I lose my good routine and you go through time zones. And several nights a week, even here in Los Angeles, Brentwood, where I live, there are 2 things I take. And remember, I don't own stock in any company. I don't get a commission if anything sells, but when I find things that work, and I've taken these for ages. They're really popular supplements you could get at Whole Foods. They're by Michael's Naturopathic Programs, but I'll give you a telephone number on how to get them. This is how I get them, 25% off using a code. But he has there are 2 products I take. One's called Sleep Factors, and the other one is called Essential Minerals. And I take them together. I'll tell you what's in each one, but so often our body is deficient in minerals. And even when you go to sleep, there are certain nutrients that your body needs during sleep. You need a reserve of them, and that are important for stimulating amino acids like tryptophan, which then turns into serotonin, which is a sleep neurotransmitter. So I take Sleep Factors, I'd say 4 to 5 nights a week. It's not habit forming, by the way. It's got calcium, which is great for relaxation. It's got magnesium. It's got niacinamide. That's a form of the B-complex vitamin niacin that's required for aerobic metabolism and the conversion of that amino acid phenylalanine to tryptophan. So the niacinamide plays a role for those people who cannot return to sleep after awakening during the night. It's got, you've heard of this, 5-HTP, that's hydrotryptophan, which is an amino acid and precursor to the biosynthesis of the neurotransmitters serotonin and melatonin. It's also got passion flower, hops, skullcap. These are all herbal nervines That means they're used to calm the nerves, known to have relaxing properties. So at night, I take the sleep factors and I combine, and it's made by Michaels. And again, go to Whole Foods and get them. They're really popular, but you can get 25% off if you call them. And I take them at night with the essential minerals, because some of the minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron, when you take them at night, and then they've got many other minerals, macro and micro and trace minerals, have a sedative effect. That's why this combo together of, and it's not expensive, of sleep factors and essential minerals will have you sleeping like a baby again. I buy each by the case because I don't want to run out. I also give them as gifts to anybody I know that can't sleep well. So you can go to michaelshealth.com, but and you can call. I like to call because I always ask questions. But their toll-free number, and by the way, it's in, where is this? San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, Michaels, huh?
That's what, is that an hour before you?
1 hour.
The number is 845-2730. 800-845-2730. And with the code Vitality15, you'll get 25% off. Now, I wrote more about them and why they're great in that very first blog that you'll see posted at SusanSmithJones.com. And so, I would just get a month's supply, which is, the bottles will last you a little bit more than a month. So you can just get 1 bottle of each and test it out. I guarantee you'll get some of the best sleep you've ever gotten. When I went to the same B&B in Ireland a couple weeks ago that I went to before, and the plaque was still there on the wall when you enter, an old Irish saying that a good laugh and a long sleep are the best cures in the doctor's book. And Leonardo da Vinci said, a well-spent day brings happy sleep. I like that.
Well, the Michael Sleep, you say you take it, and you've been taking it for quite some time, huh?
For a long time, yeah. And sadly, the sleep factors are so popular, they've been out of it for quite a while. They just got it back in. And I just purchased the case at 25% off. I like to save money. I also don't like to order every month because then you pay more shipping. I'd rather get a big supply of and have it on hand, and then but we got to get your sons to sleep more.
Yeah, well, I got to get them to do a heck of a lot more than just to sleep, but that's just one on my list, my bucket list.
And remember, these are non-habit forming. Now, another thing, which definitely costs money, but it's one of the best things you can do, is heat up your body at night. You've heard me talk about the sauna before, but there's a hormone called, you've heard of this obviously, melatonin. And at night, what happens is normally your body temperature hits a peak 2 hours before bedtime. And as your body temperature drops, and what I'm talking about is increasing evening body heat, that is if you go to bed at night, is a very effective way to promote deeper sleep. As your body temperature drops, melatonin is released and your body gets physiologically ready for sleep. That's why it's a good idea to give babies a bath before bedtime. And the bigger the drop in temperature, most people do not know this, the deeper the drop into deep sleep. So people with insomnia do not have the normal drop in temperature, so they aren't as ready for deep sleep. But you can urge on and help that heat, that higher heat, and then that drop by doing exercise 4 hours before bedtime. And that's enough time for that adrenaline release caused by exercise to wear off. That can assist the physiological drive into deep sleep. But my favorite thing to do, you know, I'm big on infrared saunas, and I think it's the third blog on my website, SusanSmithJones.com. But a hot bath, 2 hours before bedtime, or a sauna. I'll tell you, because a sauna really heats your body up in infrared. If you ever had sleep issues and you never want to have them again, then save money and get that good Thermalife infrared sauna. Because at night, that overall increase in body temperature from an infrared sauna, with the accompanying big drop back to normal, which secretes much more melatonin naturally, helps promote the best sound sleep possible. I don't always have time to do a sauna at night, but that is my favorite time to do it. I never need to take the essential. I always take the essential minerals at night because that's just good for you. But I don't always. If I take a sauna, I don't need to take Michael's sleep factors.
Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So and so here are a few more tips. You always want to wind down and relax before sleep. You know, these are common sense. You want to keep a regular sleep schedule. If you have a hard time getting to sleep and staying asleep, keep a regular sleep schedule, meaning even on weekends as weeknights, go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time. Your body thrives on a routine. Your body loves a routine. So I often tell people either nap consistently or not at all, but never nap too close to bedtime. You don't want to have a big meal, like you did not do that in Mexico, within 3 hours of bedtime. And if you're really hungry, only a light snack. And remember that the you know, if you need a light snack, I'll say bananas have potassium, magnesium, are natural muscle relaxants. They also contain that amino acid L-tryptophan, which gets converted to 5-HTP, like you have in that Michael Sleep Factors, and the 5-HTP in turn is converted to serotonin and melatonin. So anyway, you don't want to sleep too close to bedtime. Now here's something interesting. First of all, if you use a bathroom at night, don't turn on the bright light because it shuts down your melatonin level
Sure.
the rest of the night. So instead, have a little night light, a faint night light if you need help in the bathroom or looking where you need to go, you know what I mean. And then avoid nighttime calls and turn off your cell phone before bed. You and I talked about this ages ago, but there was a study at University of Zurich found that exposing people to electromagnetic fields from cell phones altered their brain waves during sleep, resulting in sleep disturbances. If you need to use a phone at night, always use a landline. But I know many people don't even have landlines anymore.
Oh, that's the truth.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind that you want to use the bedroom primarily for sex and sleep. If you're not sleepy, relax in another room until you are. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, quiet, and comfortable. Always have a fresh plant in your bedroom because it gives off oxygen and it takes up carbon dioxide. Avoid caffeine after about 2 p.m. A few drops of lavender oil on your pillowcase or in a little diffuser next to your bed is nice. That helps relax you. Chamomile tea or lemon balm tea at night absolutely help relax you. And both lavender. I get a tea that has lavender and chamomile in it, so that's nice. Before I give you a few more tips, well, let me just say, always wear natural fiber pajamas if you wear pajamas, because if you wear polyester or synthetic fibers, it brings more positive ions. Those are the ones that depress your mood. Paradoxically, the negative ions lift your mood and help you to secrete more serotonin. So you want natural fiber sheets and linens. cotton, not polyester. The same with your pajamas. Lots of people don't know that. And make sure the walls of your bedroom, I forget if we talked about this before, make sure they're a soothing, calm color. I had a client once, actually a famous celebrity, you would know who she is, and she couldn't get good sleep, and she was doing everything I told her to do. And she was even doing the sleep factors, which helped, and the essential minerals, but she still wasn't getting good sleep. She'd get up in the middle of the night. She couldn't go back to sleep. And she did two things that weren't right, because I had to go to her house to look at her bedroom to figure this out. First of all, guess what color the walls were painted in her bedroom?
I don't know, pink.
Red.
Red.
Red, which color has effect on the body. It's stimulating. You need a calmer color like pale blue or lavender or even a cream, but not a bright red or a bright orange. Those aren't bedroom colors. But she also was in the habit of going to sleep with the TV on. She'd literally fall asleep with the remote in her hand. And I bet many of you are thinking, I've done that before. But don't think that the news on TV won't affect you, because it does go into your subconscious, even as you're drifting off to sleep. And you don't want that negativity as you drift off to sleep. It's better to have no lights and get the computers off if you have them in the bedroom, unplug them, and don't use the cell phone, because all of that affects sleep. Now, we all want to know, how are you with sleep?
I tell you what, I was listening, checked off a bunch of these things. I'm very much sleep deprived, evidently, because I'm coming in at 5 hours. 5.
Oh, no, Dr. Dennis.
Oh,
no,
that's...
you got to change that. Yeah, we got to work on your boys, too.
Let me ask you this question.
How kids are. They want the last text, the last email. They want to play on the computer. All of this will affect their sleep.
What about a mattress? That seems to be a basic item. Most people try to correct that as the number one thing.
A mattress and a pillow. By the way, don't sleep on your stomach. First of all, it creates wrinkles, and it's really bad for your lower back. If you're on your side, it's good to put a pillow in between your knees. Again, I own no stock in any company, but the mattress I use is called IntelliBed. Now, in the first blog, you can click and read more about it, but you can go over to the right, to the third from the right. It says favorite products, and the second and third listing is the anatomy of sleeping well and mattress support. And this is an amazing company in Utah, and they don't sell in stores unless you're right there in Utah. But first of all, it's a special made mattress that the father of sleep at Stanford University, a medical doctor, believes is the best mattress in the world. And they give you 60 days to try it, absolutely risk-free. And I know many people that use the mattress that love it, and nobody's ever sent it back. But if it's not the best sleep you've ever gotten in your life, after 60 days, you send it back, and you get a complete refund. They even pay for shipping to send it back, because they know you won't be sending it back. It's by IntelliBed, and I get it. I got mine. I have 6 of them in different rooms. I have smaller ones and bigger ones. Mm-hmm. They have all different sizes. They have organic fabric on them. But with Sweet Dreams 2015 code, you can get 10% off as well. So you can read about that on my website.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that one up there. I think that may be a go-to. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, because most people will go into a store and spend 6 to 10 minutes trying out beds. That's not the way you want to try out a bed. To have it in your home under normal conditions and have 2 months to try it risk-free, that's pretty much unheard of. And it is an amazing bed. And we don't have time now. I know we're running out of time, but you can read all about it and see pictures of it. And go to favorite products, and the second and third subheading is all about sleeping like a baby and good mattress support.
Well, now look, you gave us so many hints this hour. Some completely caught me off guard. Others I sort of expected. But in total, I've never really heard somebody do as fine a job on this subject as you have just completed. And it's there for everybody to listen to if they want to go back to the archives and just sort of tick through a whole bunch of great ways to optimize that sleep. And looks like I better go to it first because I'm the one that needs it the most.
Yeah, and I would say for you, immediately call Michael's Health today. What time is it there? It's 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, they're not up at Michael's. They're sleeping on their mattresses right now.
Yeah.
But
Michael's Health is 800-845-2730. And I would get Sleep Factors and Essential Minerals. Take them at night. Get 25% off with Vitality 15. I love. They make wonderful, wonderful products. Remember, I talked about their detox kits that I'm taking often. But see, all of this is within your control. All these things, nothing costs a lot of money except if you got a sauna. And boy, is that worth it to look younger, to lose weight, to get rid of aches and pains.
Sure.
It makes your skin glow. But everything else is within your power to do. You just need to make a commitment and do it.
All right. There's that Chopsticks played by Bill, signaling our time out of here. I know you're back with us on the 1st of July. You'll kick off a new month with us. You'll get back with me on whatever that topic will be. Have a wonderful month. Carry on. See ya.
Thank you. Sweet dreams, everybody.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.
There you have it, folks. See you on Friday.